All right, today we're cracking open the case file on a truly terrifying urban legend, the pen in the bin. And it all boils down to one simple, horrifying question. What do you do when a curse isn't tied to a place, but to an object you just seem to get rid of?
I mean, think about it. If a house is haunted, you can move. But what if the evil is in your pocket? What if it can travel with you? Where could you possibly go to be safe? That's the nightmare we're diving into today. So, our story picks up after a period of calm, a little bit of quiet that kind of lulled everyone into thinking maybe, just maybe, the horror was over. But as we're about to see, the curse wasn't gone. It was just waiting.
And there you have it. The evil has packed its bags. 6 months have passed, and it's resurfaced in a brand new city, a totally different office. This proves, right off the bat, that it's not the place that's haunted, it's the object. And this is how it all kicks off again. It starts with such a normal, hopeful moment, right? A new guy, Mohit, is starting a new job. He picks up a simple black pen to sign his contract, completely clueless about its dark past. That one little act is about to seal his fate. Chills, right? This is the moment we realize we're not just dealing with some random ghost. This thing is intelligent. It's aware. It remembers what happened before, and it announces its return with its own personal, terrifying message, written in its own ink. And just like that, the pattern starts all over again. It's like a horrifying signature. The new office starts to decay psychologically. People can't sleep. They have these sudden bursts of rage. They become terrified of their own reflections. It's proof that the exact same entity is back at work. Now, this is where it gets really creepy. You see, everyone from the first incident thought the bin was where you could discard the pen to get rid of it, but they had it all wrong. The bin wasn't a hiding place for them. It was a resting place for the pen. It's where the pen chose to wait. Okay, so right when things are getting really bad, a familiar face shows up, and this signals a huge shift in the story. We're about to go from just being victims of this horror to actively investigating why it's happening. And what Karthik says here, it changes everything. He is absolutely terrified because he understands the terrifying implication. The pen didn't just reappear by chance. It followed someone. Its actions aren't random. They're deliberate. And if they're deliberate, that means it has a motive. So Karthik starts digging, and what he finds is, well, it's a body count that stretches back for decades. This isn't some new curse. As you can see from this timeline, this pen has been leaving a trail of death for years, highlighting just how persistent and powerful this thing really is.
And this is where the whole investigation just flips on its head. We're about to peel back the layers of the supernatural horror story and find something much, much more disturbing at its core.
You know, the crazy thing is, this curse didn't start with a murder or some big tragic accident. No, it was something way colder, more calculated. Back in 1987, a registrar used this exact pen to forge documents, and because of that, dozens of families lost everything. He eventually died, sure, but the pain and injustice he created, that lived on. It soaked right into the pen. And that's the absolute gut punch of this whole thing. The pen wasn't cursed by a ghost, it was cursed by injustice itself. I mean, a ghost is scary, for sure. But the idea that an abstract feeling, an agony so powerful it becomes a thinking, vengeful force, that's a whole other level of terrifying. This horror isn't just supernatural, it's deeply, cruelly human. So, that leads to the big question, right? If this thing isn't just some haunted doodad, what's its endgame? What does an entity born from the act of signing away people's entire lives actually want? Well, on the surface, it looks like it just wants to cause random chaos and death. But the true motive is so much more insidious. It doesn't just kill, it specifically seeks out people who already feel desperate, who already feel trapped. It preys on their vulnerability and gives them that final, fatal push. And there it is, its mission statement, its ultimate, sinister goal. Written in its own ink, make them sign. It wants to repeat the very act that gave it life. It doesn't just want death, it wants surrender. It wants people to willingly sign away their hope, their future, their lives, the exact same way those families were forced to all those years ago.
So now they know what they're up against, and they're going to make one last desperate attempt to finally break this horrible cycle. But I mean, how do you even begin to fight a curse that literally feeds on despair? They try an exorcism, and it is a complete and total disaster. A scream that doesn't sound human at all rips through the room, and the ritual just fails. You see, you can't just banish a powerful, raw emotion. This isn't some simple spirit. It's a force of nature. And this is where Mohit has this horrible, tragic moment of clarity. He realizes the pen chose him for a reason, because he was already feeling desperate. It found a kindred spirit in his despair. So, to save everyone else, he makes the ultimate sacrifice. He stops fighting and willingly gives the pen what it wants, returning it to the bin. And believe it or not, for a while, it seems to have worked. They literally entomb the curse. The office is abandoned and the bin is sealed up in a block of cement. The entity isn't gone, not really, but it's dormant. It's sleeping, as long as it's left alone. But of course, nothing stays buried forever, right? Years go by, memories fade, and progress, well, progress has a funny way of digging up old ghosts. The old building is finally torn down, and in the process, that concrete tomb gets cracked wide open. The curse is unsealed. And just like that, the whole nightmare is ready to start all over again. A construction worker finds a pen in the rubble. He doesn't see a cursed artifact. He just sees a free pen. Lucky day, he thinks. And with that one simple, innocent moment, the cycle begins anew. And that's where the case file ends for now. It leaves us with one final, absolutely chilling question that just blows the whole thing wide open. We've seen the devastation this one pen can cause in a small office, but what happens when it finds its way into a school, a bank, a government office, a place where one pen is shared by hundreds of people, potentially infecting them all with its curse of injustice? It's a thought that's almost too terrifying to consider.